In this video, we will be visiting our source of Tie Guan Yin Oolong in Muzha, Taipei, Taiwan. Muzha is basically a suburb just on the outskirts of Taipei, the largest metropolis on the island of Taiwan, part of the greater Taipei area. It's amazing in Taipei how you can go from full-on city right up into the hills and feel like you're in a remote countryside within minutes, or at least a half an hour or so. So we took the high-speed rail from where we live in Nantou County up to Taipei, borrowed a friend's scooter in Taipei, and rode up into the hills in the Muzha district to a small community called Makong, which is a historical tea growing region dating back to the 19th century. It was revived by the Tea Research Extension Station in the 1950s, or starting in the 1950s, and is really a relic of this tea making tradition in Muzha. And our friend is really a living representation of that. He uses his family land. He grows several different plots of tea, several different strains of tea on different plots on a hillside, and practices organic farming. He has organic certification on part of his land, but has yet to use any chemical fertilizers or pesticides. So we're riding up into this community, small winding roads, quite picturesque. You can catch views of the city below on a certain turn here and there. And it's a unique spot. Our friend, we still don't really know how he gets any cars into his land. We've only entered by this, basically it's a walking path. There are hiking trails around here that people come up on the weekends and all the time. Basically, they can stop and have tea in a selection of venues. Our friend has small gazebo spots dispersed on a certain section of his land where people can basically pay a service fee to use a tea set and brew tea and purchase tea if they choose to. Really quite a quaint venue. There's the parking lot where we park our scooter. And it's all just small paths, lots of steps, really old school, in stark contrast to the city below. So we walked around the hillside checking out various plots of tea. Some were doing okay. This one was doing relatively much better than others. This is a plot of Jin Xuan Oolong, Tai Cha number 12, which is a relatively hardy strain of tea that can withstand organic growing conditions, has a good immune system to fight bugs, and he's happy to see that there is at least a significant amount of new growth on these trees that he will harvest in the next week or two. Other plots are much grimmer in their current state. They were munched by the most harmful or impactful insect on tea growing in general on Taiwan is a type of, well, they call it a tea mosquito bug. In Chinese, it's chunxiang. And it does look similar to a mosquito, and it stings the new growth, the tender new leaves, and sucks the sap out of them, and basically either scars them very badly, or the leaves end up withering and dying after they've been stung. But Jin Xuan, somehow, either the bugs don't like the aromatic compounds of Jin Xuan, it just doesn't get affected as much. This, on the other hand, is where we see the real damage. So this is a leaf, a branch that has been affected by an insect called chunxiang. And this is what's happened to about 2/3 of this crop of Tie Guan Yin tea trees. We can see the light green, patches of light green on top of the tree, but a majority of it has been eaten. So we're just walking down a row of the plot that we just saw an overview of. And a conventional farmer would look at this and say, okay, forget it, we lost this crop, let's trim it, prune it down, and wait for the next season. Our friend is describing how it starts growing and then the Chunxiang mosquito bug comes and just munches it and ends up compromising a large portion of the crop. He's gathering some of the weed growth of type of vine that he will boil and make a herbal tea. It's one of the ingredients of qingqiao cha, which is a commonly available herbal tea in Taiwan. Basically translates as green grass tea. Okay, and finally we go considerably higher up on the mountain. Elevation seems to help. Our friend is very happy to see the growth. He purposely didn't come up here since he weeded this garden a couple of weeks ago. He just let it be. Didn't want to rack his brains about how the crop is going to be. And it's significantly better than what we just saw below in terms of damage caused by the mosquito-like insect, Chunxiang. We're doing okay. This is all Tie Guan Yin strain. At least we'll have some winter tea to work with. 这个要当你的冬茶比赛的茶叶吗？
嘿嘿，当然有机会，当然是好啊。